Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Welcome to our Westchester Weekly Update, the first update for the year 2024. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd. We want to wish a Happy New Year to all of our residents and friends. We hope you've had a good holiday season, and it still continues for a few days more as this is a shortened work week. For those of you who are out there enjoying New Year's Eve, we had a ball drop in downtown White Plains. We had one drop in downtown Peekskill, and in downtown New Rochelle, we watched the Times Square ball drop. So we had our opportunity to celebrate the beginning of the new year, and we're one day in the bag already on that. Many of our cities and towns are having their inaugural ceremonies over these couple of days. Yesterday, I had the privilege to be at the inauguration of the newly elected officials in the city of New Rochelle and in the city of Rye. Ken Jenkins, our deputy county executive, was there in Yonkers and elsewhere, and we have a few coming up over the course of the next few days. So we're starting the new year. It is the beginning of our fiscal year in the county government. All of the towns, 4 of our 6 cities in the county government, are on calendar year, fiscal years. So our budgets are all in place, no late budgets here, and we're starting this new year off on the right foot. In our program today, Ken Jenkins will join me, as he always does, our Deputy County Executive. We're going to talk about an environmental program that was initiated by Peter McCart, our Director of Sustainability, and what that's represented for the county, both environmentally and financially. We have State Senator Pete Harcum, who is with us here, and Steve Aquario from NYSAC, Executive Director, that's New York State Association of Counties, and they'll talk about a bill that's passed in Albany that really represents a very positive step forward. We're appreciative for their presence here today, and we'll be joined by the Rye Town Supervisor, Gary Zuckerman, who will be our municipal partner, and he'll talk a little bit about the town of Rye. We'll begin first with Peter McCart, who is our Director of Energy, Conservation, and Sustainability. I change his title depending on whatever it is I think it is at the moment I'm speaking. Peter, come on over here. And Ken Jenkins, our Deputy County Executive, come join us. Peter is fulfilling a position that was created by the Westchester County Board of Legislators under the prior administration to have a point person in our administration deal with environmental and energy issues. And Peter's been with us for the full 6 years of our administration, has really done a terrific job. And today what we're spotlighting is a program that he brought to us, initiated us in our first year. It is a demand response program by which Westchester County reduces its draw from the electric grid during periods of high demand, and in so doing, we're compensated for doing that. And we'll let Pete explain some of the backgrounds of it, but it winds up working through an organization called New Energen. We wind up generating revenue for Westchester County at the same time that we're helping the environment. And just a couple of days ago, we had a gentleman come in from New Energen who gave us a check to Westchester County, a revenue of $361,529.73 for the county's enrollment in 3 summer demand response programs. And the total amount of money that's been generated by this program is $1.5 million. This is a revenue stream that did not exist prior to this. And I take no direct personal credit for this. This was the vision that Pete had, and in bringing it to us, we had the common sense to say, good idea, let's do it. That's real leadership at work. But Pete, if you can talk a little bit about the program, but we're very appreciative both to you and to New Energen, so tell us about energy demand response.
Sure thing, George. Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Happy New Year, everybody. So we do work with New Energen. It's a company that administers these programs for us. They also do New York City. New York City has a much larger, electrical need. That both earn the county income as well as provide an opportunity to further enhance our sustainability efforts. Demand response is, as George mentioned, an electricity grid and utility-run series of programs that offer financial incentives for owners of the facilities, in this case, the county, that we reduce the need for kilowatts during times of high stress. It's usually the month of August, July, when you got the heat and all the air conditioners are running. And we're asked to do it all here. And in the county facilities, we take down all of our lights. Anything we don't need, we just try to save as much energy as we can. And this also eliminates or minimizes the need to build these expensive infrastructures or fire up the dormant, dirty fossil fuel burning peaker plants, as they're known. And we create savings off of our own electric bill on top of it all. So it's just a win-win. Not only are we getting income, but we're saving money off the electrical bill. And as I like to say, it's on us in government to find ways to enhance our sustainability efforts for the good of not just our county, but the region and the entire planet. And this is just one of the many ideas that we've initiated. Thanks to George, you always give it to me, but you make the decision. So you make the good decisions, and we thank you very much there are demand response programs for residents. One of them that's here in Westchester is called Grid Rewards. You're not going to earn $360,000, but any kind of savings you can get is good money. So look it up, Grid Rewards. There's opportunities through Con Ed and NYSEG as well. So
Pete,
thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peter McCart, our Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability. And just to highlight it again, what this program does is the county reduces its need for electricity in periods of high demand. He mentioned usually that happens during the summertime. Now, we don't cut the power at Playland. So if you're on the Ferris wheel, don't worry, it's going to circle around. But we do reduce the power usage in office buildings that are unoccupied or lightly occupied at that period of time. And the savings is very important because the energy companies, the electric companies, have to draw power off the grid. And if they don't have power available, they have to buy it off the grid at peak prices. And when they save having to buy those things, they have a savings, and they pass that savings on to us, and that's the revenue stream. So we're very happy to have the money. We're very happy to let it be a way to sort of offset the property tax burden that people have and to do the right environmental thing. And in weeks to come, we'll have Pete back here. We're going to talk about our efforts for electric vehicle charging stations infrastructure and some of the other programs that we're working on in the environment. Pete has already been a very important part, along with our head of Department of Public Works and Transportation, Hugh Grecian, in the electrification of our Beeline bus system. All of our buses now are electric hybrid or electric buses. We have no diesel buses out there, and that reduces the amount of diesel fume that goes out. That is good news for people that have breathing issues, asthma, and so forth. And it also saves us money in the amount of energy that we have to buy, fossil fuel energy, to power the system. So lots of good things happening on the environment. This is one of them. Pete, thanks again. We appreciate it. Next up, with other guests that we have in the room, I'm going to ask Ken to take the lead to talk about a program that really has initiated from our good friend Pete Harcum, state senator representing the northern portion of Westchester County. His district goes up into Putnam, over into Rockland County, and he's had a brilliant idea, and along with the leadership of the New York Association of County Executives, we have a representative here, Marie Considine from NAMI, and Michael Orth, our commissioner, is going to be cast of thousands up here, but we want all of them to come up, and Ken, you can do the lead-in, and then Pete, take it away from there.
All right. Thanks a lot, County Executive, and certainly this is a wonderful day because of the tremendous work of so many individuals, certainly starting with our great friend Senator Pete Harcum, that did so much tremendous work in cooperation with NAMI and certainly Commissioner Michael Orth that's here as well. President of the Executive Director of the New York State Association of Counties, and a good friend of all of ours, Steve Aquario, that's been working through this particular opportunity. And this particular state law is initiated and originated here in Westchester County, and it allows behavioral health responders to use a set of emergency lights, which we're going to demonstrate in a few minutes. Governor Kathy Hochul signed this legislation, which will allow teams responding to behavioral health crises to use flashing green lights on their vehicles. For flashing red lights, you're legally required to yield the right of way, and for flashing green lights, you're still requested to yield and to be able to move across and let those emergency responders get to the location. As we mentioned earlier, it was sponsored, the state law was sponsored by our good friend Senator Pete Harcum, and working with Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer in the Westchester Department of Community and Mental Health. They worked with Senator Harcum and Assemblyman Bill Magnarelli to help develop this legislation. And again, at this particular time, I want to introduce, and who needs some introduction here in Westchester County, former colleague on the County Board of Legislators, Majority Leader, but now the dynamic head of not only the Environmental Committee, but a great friend of Westchester, our friend Pete Harcum. So Pete, take it away.
Thank you very much, Ken, and thank you, George, for inviting us here today, and all my colleagues who are here. I want to backtrack a little bit. I appreciate the credit that we hear from George and Ken, the love coming our way, but But let's go to the origin of this and the courage of the county executive and the deputy county executive when police reform was a subject some years ago. And the county put the right people at the table to discuss police reform. And one of the important findings that came out of that, and something many of us knew intrinsically but had not ever been embedded in practice, was that many 911 calls are behavioral health crisis calls. And those calls need a different touch, a different set of skills than necessarily police officers who do a fine job, but that's not what their training is. And Westchester County, under the county executive's leadership, is not only leading New York State, but leading the nation in embedding behavioral health specialists with police departments. They are paying for that all across Westchester County. A call comes into 911, and the dispatcher and the behavioral health team discuss, is this your call? Is this my call? Is this both of our calls? And this is really groundbreaking, and you deserve a tremendous amount of credit for that. And so when you have behavioral health crisis responders going out, they are no different than an EMS technician, because in a health crisis, seconds matter. And so our volunteer fire departments, our volunteer ambulance corps, they have different colored beacons to help them get through traffic in a safe, expeditious manner to get to the scene. And that was what this bill is all about. And this bill came about as a request from the county executive, the deputy county executive, Commissioner Orth. And I also want to give credit to Joe Glazer, who's not here today, but who is a deputy commissioner, who we had done this bill a year ago, and the governor vetoed it. And when Joe looked at the veto message, he said, this is not right. And he dove into the Department of Health. They got it sorted out, and this year we had a clear path sailing. So Joe deserves a lot of credit. But this is simply, as you can see over here, no different than the sort of light you would see on an EMT responding to a call or a volunteer firefighter responding to a call. And it's to enable an incredible program that Westchester County is a nation leader in. I have colleagues who have bills who want to bring this program statewide to embed behavioral health specialists with police departments, and they need to look no further than Westchester County to see how well it works. So we're really thrilled to get this bill done. It was a great team effort with Assemblymember Magnarelli and the Assembly, with all the county folks pushing. Steve Aquario, head of New York State Association of Counties, a good friend and a great colleague and very effective leader, was very instrumental in helping us pass this. Our good friends at NAMI, who are there with us every step of the way on all of these issues, and certainly Commissioner Orth. So thank you all so much. Pleasure to be here, and thank you, Mr. County Executive, for the partnership. Thanks so much, Ken.
Thanks, Pete. At this time, we're going to ask, as he pointed them out, we're going to ask Steve Aquario from the New York State Association of Counties to give his thoughts on the work that was done, as Pete has outlined, and then we'll bring up Commissioner Orth and certainly our friends from NAMI to talk a little bit more about that. So, Steve.
Thank you, Deputy County Executive Jenkins and Senator Harcum, County Executive Latimer. It's great to see you again. Great to be in Westchester. Again, as Senator Harcum mentioned, really this was a county-led initiative. Has statewide importance. The Mobile Crisis Response Team model developed right here in Westchester County is a result of this new legislation here now, Chapter 686 of the laws of 2023. It's effective May 8th. So this is an educational forum here today, letting the public know that if we see these green lights that are out on the road, there's a request to yield. As Senator mentioned, it's not a requirement. Of course, law enforcement, red, blue lights, is a requirement to yield. This is a request to yield, much like the volunteer fire system that's in place right now. But a very important message that Senator Harcum talked about here, when we reimagined police back in 2021, when we had to rethink, re-examine law enforcement, how can we do it better? Well, this is a perfect example of how we could do it better. to have co-locations with our municipalities right here in Westchester County, right next to the 911 system dispatchers, and send the appropriate care if it's substance abuse, if it's suicide care, if it's any way that we could avert an ER visit to Westchester Medical Center or some of these other professional medical centers that don't need that type of emergent, urgent care. We're going to save money and, more importantly, save people's lives. So a very important piece of legislation. I want to thank Senator Harcum. I wanted to present this to Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins. This is a pen certificate from the governor, and we'll present that to Deputy County Executive Jenkins. And I also have one for Commissioner Orth as well. So I want to say on behalf of the counties across the state, the 57 counties all across the state, thank you, County Executive Latimer. Thank you, Deputy County Executive Jenkins, Commissioner Orth, Deputy Commissioner Joseph Glazer, for really making a difference here. You made a difference, and thank you very much.
Well, and thank you, Steve, and certainly thank the governor for this, and we're looking forward to having that frame with all the other great things that continue to happen on the behalf of the state of New York with the partnership in the state Senate, the Assembly, and certainly your advocacy, Steve, from the New York State Association of Counties, and our president-elect that will come in soon, the Honorable Ben Boykin from here in Westchester County as well. With that, let me turn over to the Commissioner of Community Mental Health that has done a tremendous job in creating and developing this program, as was noted, that came out of police reform and reinvention, and one of the things trying to do to make things a lot better. And this program is a model of success, has been mentioned so many times, between our law enforcement community and certainly our community mental health community, and substance abuse and all those things that are happening at the same time. And we're going to continue to move forward with this great program. And let me turn back over to our good friend here, Commissioner Michael Orr.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. Very excited to be here today, and really appreciative under the County Executive Latimer's leadership and vision. Westchester County has created perhaps the most comprehensive continuum of behavioral health services in New York State, and perhaps even the country, as you heard today. Our goal under Project Alliance from day one was to create a timely and professional response for residents experiencing a behavioral health crisis, just as we have for public safety, fire, and medical emergencies. Project Alliance in 2023 alone, over 100 callers diverted by 911 dispatchers to our behavioral health crisis team. 5,750 residents called our newly formed 988 24/7 crisis suicide line at the St. Vincent's Hospital. We trained over 195 police officers and EMS in recognizing and addressing behavioral health crisis, and over 2,500 residents were served alone in 2023 by our 8 mobile crisis teams, as you heard, who are embedded with our police departments. These accomplishments would not have been possible without the commitment of our partners, Department of Public Safety, Emergency Services, all of our local police departments who've truly been engaged in this process and have really been partners with us throughout our 2-year journey. Our 5 mobile crisis agencies who are providing 24/7 coverage within our communities. And I'd also like to recognize our department under Mark Giuliano and Chris John and the team, Bill Weitz, who's here from our office, and also, as you've heard, Deputy Commissioner Joe Glazer, who really has been spearheading the efforts with the Green Light Law. I also want to thank our county executive and deputy county executive. None of this would have been possible without your support, your guidance, and your vision, so we appreciate it. The passing of the Green Light Law in New York State is another example of Senator Harcum's commitment to behavioral health and ensuring that psychiatric behavioral emergencies receive a timely response and with the right intervention to match the crisis. Thank you, Senator. We appreciate the support of NYSAC under Executive Director Stephen Aquero, who's advocating on behalf of local behavioral health needs, and we also value the partnership of NAMI. When we first designed Project Alliance, we met with many members of NAMI who sat down with us and told us what the right response should be, how we want to engage our residents, and they were part of the process from day one. We value their support, their education, and hope they provide to so many of our residents. We look forward to working with our police departments and our behavioral health crisis system of care on how best to respond to those in need and how best to apply the Green Light Law. And at this moment, I'd like to just share, we have 2 jackets here. We are going to make Senator Harcum and County Executive Latimer honorary members of our mobile crisis team by giving them these jackets that all of our mobile crisis teams have. And as you can see in the back, we're so proud of the work of our mobile crisis, and none of this would have been possible without our county executive, deputy county executive, and of course our senator in helping us to respond in a timely way. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you're going to be on call 24/7 with our mobile crisis teams. Thank you so much.
Just another thing to be on call for.
And as Commissioner Orr said, this would not have happened without the great partnership with NAMI that's been with us and working through this particular program with us to be able to get to this particular day. And with that, let's turn back over to our NAMI rep.
Hi, thank you for having us. My name is Marie Considine. I'm the Executive Director with NAMI Westchester. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we are the local affiliate. NAMI Westchester educates, supports, and advocates for people who live with mental health conditions and for their families. And I'd really like to take a moment today to acknowledge the good work that's being done here in Westchester. The leadership that you're seeing here today, as well as many behind the scenes, really speak to the commitment that the county has in taking care of behavioral health. Mobile crisis response is so incredibly important, and I believe that Westchester County is getting it right by having the mobile crisis response teams, and not only having them, but having an amazing response rate of usually 15 minutes or less is truly amazing. As you look across the state and look across the country, Westchester County is really a leader in this way. There's always room to improve, of course, but the commissioner and the county always takes into account public voices. So the commissioner held a forum for people to speak up and share what their concerns are and how to improve. And as Commissioner Orth mentioned, they took NAMI Westchester's voices into account, who represented the families of people who have had to call 911 for their family members to get help. And now we have 988, which is answered right here in the county and provides local resources. So NAMI Westchester looks forward to working with the commissioner and the county in reviewing and determining the most effective ways to respond to a crisis. And we continue to be a resource to the county and to anyone here in the county to help you with your mental health and to be a resource. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie. And again, Marie Constantine from our local affiliate chapter of NAMI here in Westchester County. As you heard, that this would not have happened without County Executive Latimer's leadership in working through all of this together, as it resulted from police reform and reinvention, and listening to that task force that was put together by the county executive and making sure that we heard all of the voices there, but more importantly with our various members of the community about Project Alliance, and then working through our government channels with our government partners, and whether it's an advocacy from the New York State Association of Counties with Executive Director Steve Aquaria, leadership from State Senator Pete Harcum, who was at that particular point in time when we first started this, leading a subcommittee that dealt with substance misuse and other orders that were going on, and be able to take this particular project with the help of Commissioner Orth and the entire team and partners such as NAMI to make a difference for the people of Westchester County, and both for law enforcement and for those that were needing that level of support, as well as their families, to try to do everything possible to move forward. So this is a great program, and that we're going to continue to move forward with. I think we're going to demonstrate the light going on so people understand what it looks like, right? And they see the green light happening right there. It's not different from the red or blue lights, and as both Senator Harcum and Steve Aquario pointed out, that this is a request to move over, no different than when you see a law enforcement official on the side of a road. It's a request to move out of that lane that's as close to him as possible and being as safe as possible. But this is another great opportunity, and we want to thank the state and certainly Governor Hochul for signing off on that legislation. But it doesn't happen without all of the input and advocacy of everyone around. So with that, thanks a lot, and we'll turn it back over to County Executive Latimer. So.
Steve, thanks again.
Thank you, County Leadership.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Ken. And Marie and Commissioner Orth, thank you all. Steve Aquario, Executive Director of NYSAC. We're going to be dealing with our friends at NYSAC very shortly. The governor is expected to present her state budget next week, and I know Senator Harkin and our other friends in the state delegation, both senators and assembly members, will be involved in that. And to the extent that there are some county issues and how the budget affects us, Steve, we value your leadership and the leadership of the association. We'll be working with our colleagues from other counties on budgetary issues. And for Marie and for Michael, we've been together on the launch of the Healing Garden to try to address some of the issues of suicide in our society. We have so many other things to do, but we're working cooperatively. And that cooperation between different levels of government, the state and the county, together with the local governments, is really the path forward. I mean, there is a lot of rhetoric out there in the society and a lot of animosity, but if we can't find a way to work together, then we can't solve these problems, and that's what we're trying to address. So I'm appreciative of all of you and Ken's leadership as well on these things. Next, as we bid a farewell to 2023, this is a good time for us to take a look back. We shared this with you a week ago. We want to give you just one more look back as to some of the things that happened here in Westchester County in the year 2023. We are trying to show results that matter.
Some Westchester leaders want to require candidates for county office to submit a resume because of Santos.
For people to know whether or not you're telling the truth.
There is no place for hate in Westchester.
The challenge of today is to be eternally vigilant.
Today, Westchester County Executive George Latimer and Con Ed unveiling 34 public charging stations for electric vehicles.
Before we've had any huge mandates and certainly any sticks, as some people would advocate for it, we've used the kind of tools that we have available at a county level and at a municipal level to do a lot more creation of affordable units and units in general.
George Latimer calling on the feds now to speed up asylum hearings and add judges.
Make sure that asylum seekers have the opportunity to work.
This is a location that's roughly in the middle of the county, but we want people in every corner of the county to know that it's here for them. People can come to this park, use this bathhouse, and be on that beach, and on a hot summer's day, cool themselves off. We can still find mutual respect in order that the brave make sure that we continue to be the free.
A county building in Mount Vernon was renamed for the late Reginald A. Lafayette.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Reginald A. Lafayette Westchester County Office Building. It belongs to you.
Tonight in Westchester, the decline in crime takes a key spotlight among other successes and plans in County Executive George Latimer's 6th State of the County address.
We've significantly increased the funding for the Westchester County Department of Public Safety.
Second summer in a row, the $2.75 fare is being waived.
Yeah, the free fares also apply to the county's paratransit system.
A new development in Westchester County brings housing, shopping, and more just steps from a Metro North station. Officials gathered for a ribbon cutting earlier to mark the completion of the Avalon Harrison project.
Today, the county holds a remembrance ceremony by the memorial at Kensico Dam Plaza in Valhalla. And now there are granite stones etched with the names of 4 first responders who bravely served after the attacks and are now succumbing to 9/11 related illnesses.
Westchester County Executive George Latimer ordered flags to be flown half-staff on all Westchester County properties in solidarity with Israel.
Crime rates in the county are once again on the decline. Overall crime is down by 5.2%. The Westchester County Executive George Latimer has unveiled his proposed operating budget for the next year. The $2.4 billion plan calls for a 0% increase in the property tax levy. Well, Westchester County has just received a prestigious recognition that highlights its strong financial foundation. The county is celebrating its recent achievement of a AAA credit rating from Fitch Ratings. That's the highest designation possible.
Well, a holiday break starting next weekend, December 16th through January 1st, Beeline fares will be suspended.
We join with our Jewish brothers and sisters to celebrate the Festival of Lights. It now becomes law and fully operative. We now have a budget, my friends. Thank you. Congratulations. Highlights of the year that's just completed include signing the 2024 county budget, which for the fifth straight year avoided any increase in property taxes. This past year was flat. The 4 prior years, we were able to reduce county property taxes. We have our prestigious AAA bond rating back from Fitch Ratings and their assessment of our credit worthiness. We've also had upgrades and next to highest level status from Standard & Poor's and Moody's. All of that is good. That saves us money when we go to the bond market. It's like having a high credit score, which you have in your personal life, and it allows you to borrow money at a better interest rate. We've had a lot of infrastructure projects that have been announced. We've mentioned a second ago the Healing Garden at Ridge Road Park. That's a wonderful thing. And, of course, the naming of our county office building in Mount Vernon to honor Reginald A. Lafayette, the Reginald A. Lafayette County Office Building in Mount Vernon. We've had a number of other things over the course of the year. 24 is the new year now that we're in. We've got more mountains to climb. We have many issues to deal with. But we're appreciative of the success we've had in 2023. And it really was built on the back of the county employees, both the day-to-day workers all throughout the county who kept the parks grass cut, who worked inside the Department of Environmental Facilities sewer treatment plants, the people that were responsible for getting the buses out onto the road, the county police that policed the parkways and the parks of Westchester County, up and down the line, all of those individuals, and the leadership of those departments, the commissioners and the department heads, all their fabulous work. And then, of course, I owe a great debt of gratitude to my senior executive team, Ken Jenkins, Joan McDonald, Emily Saltzman, Steve Bass, John Nona, the county attorney, Ellen Hendricks, Catherine Chaffee, our head of communications, Andrew Ferris. All of these people and more have done tremendous work, and together we've had a very successful year. So we're happy that we could recap it for you again, but now we're going to look forward. And the first thing we're going to look forward to is some of the parks programs that we have in the middle of the wintertime. This is probably when the parks have the least amount of options because of the weather, but we still have some things going on. Ken will cover those with you right now.
Thanks, George. And today and Friday, January 5th, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., we're going to have the Mall Walk because it's a little bit cooler outside right now. So the Mall Walk at the Westchester here in White Plains, that's Tuesdays and Fridays weekly, again, 8 a.m. To 10 a.m. And we certainly appreciate those, the Westchester, the Simon folks at the Westchester and everyone that participates in that. It's a great opportunity to be inside and get away from the weather a bit and still get your walk on. So again, take advantage of that. This Thursday, January 4th, from 3:30 to 4:15, the continuation of the outstanding program developed by Rosie Finizio, the Park and Read program. That's going to be at the Cranberry Lake Preserve here in North White Plains. Again, 3:30 to 4:15. You're going to have seasonal stories that are going to delight children from ages 3 to 6 as they discover the joy of reading, and with our captivating Winter Read Aloud program at our Nature Center's Fire Pit. Again, that's also going to happen on January 11th, 18th, and 25th. So again, 3 to 6-year-old children, and you have to be there with a parent or guardian, so you can't just drop off the children here at Cranberry Lake Preserve in North White Plains, and certainly you can see that on the park's website, parks.westchestergov.com. And coming up, a feature that we love here in Westchester County, the Slam Dunk Showcase, which is going to feature competitive high school matchups between some of New York's area's top teams. For more information about that, you should call the Parks Department at 914-231-4645, and that starts on Friday, January 5th from 5 to 9:30, and also again at January 6th. And if there is snow, and there's projections of actually having accumulating snow this weekend, the January 6th date may get moved to January 7th, but check that out. Those Slam Dunk Showcase is an outstanding opportunity to see some of our outstanding high school talent from around the New York area. And Saturday, January 6th, from 1 to 3, up at the Hilltop Hanover Farm and Environmental Center up in Yorktown Heights. Again, January 6th, from 1 to 3. It's a community work day. So community farm work days are an opportunity and a chance to join the community, to share in the work and get hands-on experience at the farm. It is free, and it's a lot of fun at Hilltop Hanover. And with that, we'll turn it back over to the County Executive, George Latimer.
Thanks again, Ken. We thank you for watching our update program. We thank all those who participated in the program. over the next few weeks. We have some other activities coming up. We'll talk about them as each week goes by. We hope that you enjoyed our initiative to make the Beeline bus system free, which lasted for 17 days from mid-December up and through yesterday, New Year's Day. We will take a look at the summer of 2024 and try to make some assessment as to what we're able to do. It really depends on our revenue streams. Do we have the revenue sufficient to allow us to forego the fare box and thereby provide free buses? But we certainly believe in public transit that's accessible to the public, and we're glad we could do it, and we look forward to doing it going forward. This coming weekend, we reach a day that on the Christian calendar is called Epiphany. It is the official 12th day of Christmas. If you remember the song, these are like 12 Lords of Leaping or whatever they were on the 12th day. It is the 12th day since Christmas, and Epiphany recognizes in Christian theology when kings from the east came to the stable in Bethlehem. And of course, this is a very symbolic day for our Hispanic friends and neighbors. Three Kings Day is a celebrated event throughout Latin America, and there will be a variety of activities throughout Westchester County that will reflect that, and we think that will be a notable day. A weekend later, we have the Monday holiday. I believe it's just about 2 weeks away, a little less than 2 weeks away, to honor the birthday of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And there will be many breakfasts and other events in Westchester County and a number of our communities to honor the memory of Dr. King and his legacy and the dream that he represented to the society. When we get to the end of the month, we'll be on the cusp of celebrating the Lunar New Year for all of our Asian American friends. And we will have an event that we'll talk more about as we go forward with our Asian American Pacific Islander community, and that is on the docket. We have governmentally, as I just alluded to, the state budget will be coming out in a couple of weeks. The State of the State message is next Tuesday. The budget follows that by a week. That is very important to us, those of us who are government detail wonks, and we'll look at the state budget, what the impact is on the county budget. And our state legislators, as I mentioned earlier, will be knee-deep in dealing with the budgetary issues over the next 90 days as they approach the state budget deadline, which is March 31st. And that is something that's on our docket. And then when we look ahead to the month of February, February is Black History Month. February also includes Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday on the Christian calendar. We have some of the celebrations for our Muslim friends and our Jewish friends. We'll try to be as multicultural as we can to show that this great mosaic of Westchester County is really one that everyone can feel as if they're part of this greater community. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next Monday with the next update. In the meantime, stay safe and enjoy the new year.